Rita from Bemidji has a question. There are numerous differences between the Senate and House tax bills. Most notably for cities is the difference between LGA funding. The Senate bill includes increases, and the House bill cuts LGA. Cutting LGA when there is a budget surplus is unnecessary. How will these differences be reconciled?
Maybe I could just stop out for a second because I want to go back to Representative Mahoney's point that I think that the numbers that I was looking at was not a 70-30 favor for the metro versus rural. I think it was more of a 55-45. Actually leaned a little bit in our state Minnesota.
Nonpartisan staff gave me that particular number.
So again, and my nonpartisan apparently gave me the other kind of side of things. And so as we dive into these things and we see what it is, the tax bill is complicated, it's big, but I know that it's a starting place, and I think that it is a pretty well-balanced thing to start out with. So I think it is. LGA, if I could. And again, I want to maybe use my freshman card here because I don't know the formulas, how well they work. I know that small cities rely on this stuff. Mm-hmm. That is for essential services. What I have always questioned as just a business guy outside of the legislature before this year was are we being real transparent with the real taxes that Minnesotans are paying? So the larger regional cities, the Tier 1 cities, are getting an awful lot of money that other even regional cities are getting, and then the Tier 1 largest cities are able to tax and levy on parks and rec and other areas that smaller ones cannot do. Again, I can't talk about levy and formulas, and I don't want to take that on, but I do know that it's a conversation that needs to be had about where should this be, what is the right long-term approach. If there is a change to LGA, I think there should be a plan, a long-range plan for a city that can make good planning so that they're not knee-jerking and changing their shifting as well. So LGA is an important
just so you know,
part of that.
With the cuts that were done to St. Paul and its LGA, and just so you understand, we're down on our police, we're down on our fire, not by a whole lot, but 3 or 4 or 5, by our ambulance services and a variety of others. And now we're cutting LGA. It would take a 38% increase in property taxes to make up for the cut. So the retired school teacher 2 doors down, or the retired 3M person from one house right next door, would end up with $1,000 or $1,500 more a year, just to keep services just below the optimum.
2 years ago, the LGA formula was redone. It's a need-based formula that's based on the needs of the community. And the cities, the League of Minnesota Cities, all of the differing size cities got together, small cities, rural cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Duluth, and they redid the formula to more accurately reflect the needs of the community. And LGA in and of itself is not property tax relief. It's service equalization more than anything. It's so that no matter where you live in Minnesota, you can have some expectation of equality of service from your local units of government. That's what it does.
I agree.
Now, in the end result, there has to be a property tax impact, because if it isn't there, there's only 2 things that can happen. Either the service goes away or the locals pay for it through their property taxes. But having said that, the approach that we're taking this year is a reduction in the statewide business property tax. And then we're doing a small rate change so that spreads onto all classes of property. In the Senate tax bill, all classes of property except the railroads, because Governor Dayton has a proposal to revalue and reassess the way railroads are taxed. But all other classes of property gets a reduction. Homesteads in Minnesota was 2.4, kind of the statewide average. It's a little higher in some of the rural areas. But, it's going to take some compromise with the House. And, I think I've talked to Chair Davids, and we're willing to sit down and try to work this through and see where we end up. But today we don't have the answer, but I think we will in the end.
Don't we have about 48 different rate classifications in our state? I mean, it's the second most in the nation. Is that correct?
The property tax is pretty complicated in Minnesota. And I'm not going to defend it. We've had numerous study groups trying to simplify it. The flow chart on the Ag homestead is, just as complicated as you could get. The only thing I would say is when you simplify, sometimes you bring inequities. Every one of those rate classifications or variations or exemptions for agriculture has a reason and a rationale behind it, and we have made attempts in the past to streamline it, but it's,
We
it takes some
just
time.
really don't want those accountants to have any less work.
Well, property tax, mostly the complications is with your local assessor.
Yeah, I know.
But I think there's an assessment of fairness, right? None of my cities get LGA. They don't count on it. I understand it for the small cities, but we do give quite a bit to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the urban centers, where they also have a very strong and robust business district. And so I'm glad to hear that we're going to be cutting the business property tax. That's one of the things that I hear from my small business owners as one of the biggest headaches that they have. I have one business owner in Jordan. His business is he runs a business out of one half, and he's got the other half that's vacant, and he's being charged as if it's fully utilized in generating revenue. I've got another business that's paying $25,000 a month in business property tax. I'm glad we're taking a look at reducing that, because it really is a hit on our small businesses.
And the other thing we're doing, if we want a little longer conversation, one of the issues that we hear about when we're in district is the relatively large increases on some properties, and agriculture has experienced those in the last couple of years. We currently had a program for homesteads called Targeting, where no home could have more than a 12% property tax increase in 1 year before the state would start to pay part of it. The Senate is proposing to beef that up for homesteads. We'd propose to reduce that to 10% from the current 12%. And then because agriculture has had such large swings in their, increases in values, and 23 and 24% average property tax increases this last year across the state, we're proposing that to be 8% for agriculture, trying to take those tops off of those increases and moderate and average that out. So there's some stuff in there to try to recognize some of the individual issues around the state, and it's not near the size of the House bill, but I think most of what's in there is pretty good.
Well, again, the bottom line with taxes are they're taxes that if we take taxes from individuals and businesses, they come out of the economy. If we lower those taxes, I really believe that wages are going to go up, spending is going to happen, improvements to facilities are going to happen, and that's what we all want. We want better paying jobs, because again, people will want to spend that money. So our income is income taxes and sales tax. And if we get folks with money in their pockets, they'll spend it, or they'll save it, which is going to be good for the future, which is going to be less issues for our nursing homes. And again, I just really believe in the philosophy of keeping our taxes as low as we possibly can while still providing the services that we must provide. But we can only tax so much, because it always ends up being paid by the consumer.
So
Every
you
time.
still believe in Ronald Reagan's trickle-down economy?
I like it. It
Well,
works.
there is a balance to it.
There is a balance.
Yes, and you need to make sure that your workforce is well-educated and productive.
Yeah.
It is an interesting little pilot project going on between Wisconsin and Minnesota that we all can kind of take a little look at and see how it's going.
And that's really important. I mean, the workforce in Minnesota is by far, it's next to none. I mean, it is head and shoulders above almost every other state. And we do it with our higher ed and with our schools. And I hear everybody complaining about schools. Well, you should go down to Tennessee or California or New York. Our schools are great. We still have problems, and we can make better. But we don't have 19 Fortune 500 companies and a whole assortment of Fortune 1000 companies in the state because we produce poor workers and undereducated workers. We started a few years back with the Life Science Alley and trying to bump up some of the STEM education and the STEAM education, and we've done a great job with that over the years. And I don't hear complaints. I chaired the Jobs Committee, which had all the workforce development. I did not hear complaints from our big Fortune 500 companies about, I don't have enough, my workers aren't trained well enough. What I heard was, I don't have enough trained workers, and I could go into my old diatribe about, well, how much are you paying them, but I didn't go down that road, because that's one of the problems. Greater Minnesota's got a problem. We train 100 machinists out in Greater Minnesota, and they get paid $25 an hour, which is a great wage out in Greater Minnesota. It's a good
is.
wage. But they can come into the Twin Cities and make $35 or $40 an hour and still live 25 miles outside the MUSO line and feel like they're out in the country. And I've seen that as a retired pipe fitter. I've seen when we get a big project in the Twin Cities, they're coming down from the Iron Range and from Moorhead and from Mankato and Rochester into the Twin Cities because it's $10 more an hour.
Let me make one more pitch for the tax bill as long as I'm here. No, but this is,
As long as it's a house plan.
well, I think,
I'll go with the Senate right now.
Representative Davids is going to like this. We've got a lot of good high-tech, companies in Minnesota, and one of the things that they count on is the research and development credit. And the Senate's proposing expanding that, and we're proposing to make some of the lowest part of it refundable. So we're trying to get these companies to continue that real good research and development they're doing. And then we're also looking at the students, and we're going to propose to have expansion of the 529 savings plan for Minnesotans as they try to save for their
Yep, that's part of
children's
David's
higher
plan,
ed.
too. That's
The
good.
only
That's a
thing
good
on the
part.
R&D is you have to make sure that those companies with the refundable piece is that they stay in Minnesota for X number of years, whether it's 3 years or 5 years or the length of that refundable piece. Because for a while, we had some programs that what was happening was they were getting the refund or they were getting the credit, and they were moving to Ohio or California or wherever, and we fixed that long ago.
That
But
language has been fixed.
yeah.
Well, thank you.